There is one night in Japanese history, a night whispered about in stories, yet never fully revealed, a night where pride, loyalty, and vengeance ignited all at once. This night was the night of the 47 Ronin. After the death of their daimyo, they became masterless, without rank, without home, without purpose. The empire considered them dead already. Their enemies mocked them, certain they were broken and forgotten. But the Ronin had not forgotten. They did not rush into revenge. They waited in silence for 2 long years. For 2 years, they hid their true selves. One disguised himself as a beggar, one as a merchant, one played the role of a drunken fool. They lowered their pride, endured humiliation, and prepared in secret for one single purpose. Their enemy believed the spirit of these samurai had died long ago. But on that winter night, the silence of the falling snow was shattered by the sound of steel. One by one, the Ronin emerged from the shadows, armor tightened, blades drawn, and Japan would never be the same again. Snow falls. The silhouettes of 47 samurai march forward through the white night. This was no ordinary night of revenge. This was a night born in honor, a night where death was chosen over disgrace. Yet one question remains, a question that has stunned generations. What really happened that night? And how did the 47 Ronin carve their names into history? Asano Naganori was young, but his youth was not defined by naivety. It was shaped by honor and a deep sense of responsibility. From the day he was born, he was raised as a samurai, calm, polite, disciplined, and above all, loyal to the core principle of Bushido. Honor stands above everything. Even as a child, Asano stood out through his actions. Unlike his father, he did not see strength in the blade. He saw it in justice. When he arrived at the imperial court, everyone recognized him as a quiet, thoughtful, steady daimyo. To Asano, a samurai lived by 3 sacred values. 1. Honor, a treasure that, once lost, can never be restored. 2. Loyalty, to his people and to the empire he served. 3. Responsibility. A daimyo drew his sword only as a last resort. Asano had no jealousy, no greed, no hunger for power. He never lived to show his strength. He lived to protect his people. In the palace, people whispered about him. He is the pure spirit of Bushido. Asano earns respect not through his sword, but through his character. His sense of justice is strong, perhaps too strong. His eyes always carried a calm seriousness, as though he measured every breath, every word. But deep inside him burned a fire only a few truly saw. He would never bow to injustice. He stood silent in the palace halls, yet inside his determination blazed like a hidden flame. He despised corruption, bribery, manipulation. Why was Asano so dangerous to the court? Because he did what few dared. He followed the samurai path without fear. And in a palace filled with bribery, deals, and hidden power plays, such a man was a threat, especially to Kira Yoshinaka. Asano refused to pay bribes. He refused to be humiliated. He walked the straight path. Men like that always make enemies in the palace. After Asano was forced to commit seppuku, his samurai, now masterless, now known as Ronin, were left in shock and burning with anger. But that anger came with 2 enormous burdens. 1, restore their lord's honor. 2, punish the system that allowed his unjust death. They knew one thing with absolute certainty. As long as Kira remained alive and protected, Asano's spirit could never be at peace. But there was a problem. Kira was shielded by the imperial government. His mansion had been transformed into a fortress, a place no ordinary warrior could break into. Not even 47 men could storm it head on. A reckless attack would fail instantly. That meant only one thing. To succeed, the Ronin would need iron patience, flawless deception, and perfect coordination. The Ronin scattered across the entire country. Each man took on a different identity. One lived as a beggar on the edge of a cliff. Another found work as a simple baker. One became a traveling merchant, and some wandered taverns pretending to be hopeless drunks. They did this because Kira was watching. If the Ronin stayed together, even for a moment, suspicion would rise instantly. But behind these disguises, their real mission continued. They studied every detail of Kira's mansion. They observed the guards' daily routines. They quietly prepared weapons in secret, and they drew detailed maps of every dark alley and hidden passage. The hardest role belonged to Oishi. To fool the enemy completely, he had to do the unthinkable. He left his home. He sent his family away to protect them. He moved to Kyoto and began acting like a broken man, a drunk with no purpose, no dignity, no future. He let himself fall in the streets, shouted in taverns, cursed loudly, and drank until he collapsed. Every moment of this was agony for him, because Oishi was Asano's most honorable samurai. But he endured it, because the enemy needed to believe he was weak, defeated, worthless, and soon the trap worked. Kira's spies rushed back with a report. Oishi is finished. He's nothing now. He can't take revenge. Kira relaxed. His guards grew careless. His mansion became vulnerable, exactly what the Ronin had waited for. After Kira was killed, the night fell silent once more. Snow continued to fall, as if even the heavens were watching what had just happened. Inside the mansion, the Ronin paused for a moment. Each man stood still, holding his breath. It felt as though time itself had frozen. They knew. This victory had nothing to do with survival. It was not about living to see another day. This was only about honor. And now, that honor had finally been restored. On the day of seppuku, all 47 men sat together in a single line. Not one of them was afraid. Not one of them felt regret. Their leader, Oishi Kuranosuke, rose to his feet for the final time and said, "We are not dying. We are going to reunite with our Lord Asano. If this land chooses to punish us, then the heavens will forgive us." One by one, each man carried out his duty, quietly, calmly, with honor. This moment became one of the most dramatic and unforgettable collective seppukus in the history of Japan. The bodies of the Ronin were buried together in one place, and then something extraordinary happened. Ordinary villagers came, samurai came, nobles came, even foreigners came. People from every class, every walk of life, began to gather at their graves. Merchants left their businesses unfinished just to stand there. Soldiers bowed in deep respect. Even former enemies shed tears, because now everyone understood they did not die for revenge. They died for honor. Today, at Sengakuji Temple in Tokyo, their graves still remain. Visitors walk in quietly. Some bring swords, some bring letters, some bring prayers, because the story of the 47 Ronin is not just a tale from the past. It is still, to this day, a symbol of honor, loyalty, and ultimate sacrifice. The story of the 47 Ronin is more than the sound of swords, more than a snowy night, and more than an act of vengeance. It is proof of how deeply a person can stay loyal to their beliefs, and how far someone is willing to go when honor becomes more precious than life itself. If you want to see more mysterious, dramatic, and deeply moving stories from history, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Leave your thoughts in the comments. With your support, we can bring even more people closer to the stories that shaped our world. This channel grows with you and becomes stronger because of you.